It is 7:01, convene the
Nobody's
meeting.
here.
Convene the meeting of the West Newbury Board of Selectmen for Monday, October 17th. First item on the agenda is Mr. Gary Bill. Gary, you want to come forward? Oh,
Okay. Second on the
second,
agenda.
Mr.
Oh,
Gary Bill.
He's
Third,
not here.
finance follow-ups.
He's not here.
Okay,
Okay.
he's what?
Review department head objectives, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, review, we can do that quick. I had some things I want to say, and you guys can please chime in.
Sure.
So, the process we established is to do annual reviews with the department heads, and based on the feedback from the reviews, to revise their objectives for the following year. Plus, I believe that we put together some objectives as a board. I know in the packet it said Joe's draft, but there was a final version where we had added a couple of items to it.
Yep.
So we had asked the department heads where they have items that apply, such as the DPW department has a number of items, and so does the planning board. If they would also incorporate those in addition to their review feedback. So that's the process. A number of people have given us their objectives. However, we're missing, as of Friday, so I don't know today, we're missing Mike McCarron, Leah Zambardini, Glenn Closey, Mike Gutti, and Art Reed.
I sent something back. I don't know if, back to June, an update on it. So, I'll send it again. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, that was easy.
Thank you, Mike.
So, can you grab that list and send it out tomorrow, saying that we've asked for it and we still haven't gotten it?
Yes.
And Joe, give you the list?
I recall reading Glenn's
Okay.
too.
Glenn Closey,
Yeah.
And who was after Glenn Closey?
Mike, Leah, Glenn, Mike Gutti, and Art Reed. I don't know. All I know is what was in the packet. And my final comment is there were a few, not a lot, but they basically just had, I don't know if their objectives didn't change, but they were basically the same as last year. So probably not incorporating the feedback. So that was the Council on Aging, which Mike Bertino and I did that review. The Board of Health, which presumably the Board of Health, and also Mr. Bill. Copied your objectives. You copied your objectives.
They were the same ones from last year, I think you said.
I don't know if you got this letter from Chris. It was like a month ago. We were asking for new objectives for fiscal for next year, and there were a couple of things that were in there, and this applies to a lot of people, but as an example, definitely applies to you. Mike Bertino was going to work with you and the Capital Improvements Committee to develop long-term capital priorities. 1, 2, we're going to look at bring road signs and speeds into compliance with MUTCD standards. And I think you had written a letter to Merrimack Valley. I don't know if they had responded to you. And yeah, and I guess that was it for DPW. But there were other things for like fire and police on here. I know like police as an example, and this is the systemic problem, and Art doesn't have a silver bullet, but strategies to reduce police and dispatch overtime and turnover. I mean, that's a huge one. So if you haven't heard back, I mean, Gary, this isn't, I mean, you only can do so much. So we were looking for help for you, that if they, through this process, can identify where we can make improvements. I mean, that's something that's off of your back, and it's something that I can't hear you.
In terms of signage for
Signage.
speed limits or whatever, yeah.
Like, do we have too many signs? Are they in the right place? Are they at the right height? Are they at the right everything? Are they?
First,
If you're gonna,
This on the, okay.
what?
This on the agenda?
We're talking about his objectives.
Okay.
first of all, on the sign issue,
Is that on? Just so you know, Jen, we've started with this, number 4. No,
That Mutco regulation, that's a guideline. There probably isn't 3 signs in West Newbury you can meet that guideline.
It's a standard, it's a road standard.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what you do is you put a sign in the best location for the visibility of the motorist or whoever's looking at the sign.
Right.
So, and we try to do that on everything we put in. Occasionally, you might, you could have 10 different people look at a location for sign, and they'd all be at a different place. That don't mean any of them are wrong or right.
Right.
It's where we feel it's the best spot to put something. Like I said before, if you follow the manual, there's no way you can put a sign in that meets their requirement.
Okay.
Why?
At the bottom of every one of their pages, there's a footnote on the bottom that you cannot meet these blah, 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 use best practices and best sight distances that's possible where you have to place a sign.
So,
For instance, putting a post in, sometimes you can, you put it on a telephone pole or some marker that's there. That's in their regulation on how to do it the correct way.
Right.
There's no 6 feet
There's no
here,
absolute,
10 feet from
yeah.
here. You can't, stop signs in the manual's 12 feet off the pavement. Well, there isn't any place in West Newbury you can put a sign 12 feet off the pavement that somebody's gonna see it. That's the regulation, basically. So you do the best you can.
I understand. And
Whether it's a foot one way or another really isn't gonna make a bit of difference at the end of the day.
okay.
so what, I need to know what we need to, what was the original question?
Well, the
So we try to
original
get back on track.
We were looking at its objectives, and one of them was to bring the signs into compliance with the road standards.
Or at least have Merrimack Valley look at everything and give us their recommendation.
Well, and he
And they
said,
haven't gotten back
he
yet.
said they haven't gotten
Well,
back to us,
they-
so,
I don't believe they'll have time this year to do it anyway.
right, so
So
if
I
they,
asked them to do something else earlier, and they said it'd be late fall before we could do it, and this is all new, so.
so if they can't or won't do it, maybe we should look at some other organization that could do it for us.
Well, let's wait till we hear back from them.
Okay, I mean, it's
If
been,
they say we can't do it,
No, but if they say they could do it in April of next year, we can wait.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
can you send a follow-up just to see if they've gotten that one?
When I go, next time I go next month, I'll ask them. I go up there every month for a meeting, we have a DPW directors meeting up there every month. We talk about things like that and all kinds of things.
Okay, well, we kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent here.
Okay.
So,
So what is your, oh, you want us to go back to number 1 then?
well, no, did you guys have any other things you wanted to weigh in on the objectives?
No.
Well, I actually just had one on the DPW. I just, this is just a question, Gary. In terms of the, I just happened to run across some, it was a coincidence. A couple of weeks ago, I was reading this article about people suing this company that made guardrails, aluminum ones, not anything we have, but then there are certainly lots of places in town where there are the town has the old concrete rebar guardrails, and I was just thinking, are we in any kind of jeopardy, because a lot of them are in really dilapidated
Well, actually,
condition. So is it better to are they so out of date that we should just leave them old and never try to fix them, or because they would be fixing something that isn't up to standard anyway? I guess that's my question.
Well, actually, I'm just waiting for them to come. We're replacing just about all of those guardrails. We've already taken the wire off them. I'm just waiting for them to show up to do them. We have a contract.
So do we put new wire on, or we rip out the whole
We're
thing?
taking them out, putting single face
Oh, okay, that's
Good.
interesting, okay.
on all the ones. The only one we're not doing is the one on Maple Street right now. All the other ones out Indian Hill, Bachelor Street, South Street.
They
all
have
that's gonna
cones
be
on them, they
replaced.
have orange marks on them already, they're marked with orange marks.
Yeah.
And there's some orange spray paint, I think he's marked the ones that
And
are gonna.
quite a bit of the ones on River Road where
That's the
where
other
they
place.
are or were, they've fallen in, and we're gonna replace
Yeah.
a lot of those.
Yeah, that's the
too,
other
so-
one.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's good.
Good.
So it's all under contract, Mike sent the contract back to him, it was a bid from Merrimack Valley Planning, one of our collaborative things we do in our maintenance. So
That's great.
it's just a matter of getting, I've been trying to get them here all summer, they keep, could be here any day. Everything's all been dig safed out, they're all marked out for them, they're ready to do it,
There's
just,
all orange marks and stuff
just a
on it.
matter of getting them here, so that's all right, that's in the works.
That's great.
All set
That's
with
it.
that? Okay. All right, go back to item number 1. Do you have an update from the state on the sidewalk
Yeah,
or the wall?
well, actually, Wednesday, they're gonna be, repaving the road down there and putting a berm in and a temporary sidewalk.
So they're not doing
Winter.
the wall.
Not, they have to replace the telephone poles, and by the time Horizon gets that done and National Grid, it'll be too late, so they're gonna stabilize everything for the winter and do it in the spring.
So,
So what they're gonna do Wednesday, they're coming in and put a shim coat over everything for the winter, so you haven't got the lips and the stuff. So
Right.
it'll look like it's finished, but it isn't finished. Then they're gonna pour a berm around the corner and put a new sidewalk like it used to be for the winter. Then in the spring, they'll tear that out and build the wall and put it back the way it's supposed to.
so they'll take the stuff out of the street. They'll have the sidewalk
Yeah,
exactly
well,
the same
They were
way.
gonna put barriers around. I said, well, why don't you just put the berm in and the curb and a sidewalk like it used to be for the winter, because we can't plow it if they just got.
Yeah, you can't.
Right, they won't be able to plow it,
Right,
yeah.
so they're gonna do what I suggested, just, pave
How are
the
they
curb
gonna
around the corner where they need to and put a sidewalk elevated up from the street.
How are they gonna stabilize that wall?
It is, it's stable now. They got barriers right up against it with dirt behind it, that's fine.
No, I
It's
think
not-
you mean permanently, right?
Oh, no, no, no.
Permanently?
No. I meant, I'm sorry, now.
No, it's stabilized right now, it ain't going anywhere.
So they're gonna put a temporary sidewalk in the street.
Yeah, a little bit out from where it is. They're gonna pave it, paint new lines. They won't be as aggressive as it is now, because they painted them around so they'd have a work area to work.
Yeah.
It'll be all shifted over to the right, so it'll be almost normal, so
Okay.
that's what they're doing. And like I said, they're gonna pave all the transitions so you don't notice anything for plowing and stuff in the winter.
Okay. I'd be scared that that sidewalk will be out a little bit more than
Well, I
it
brought that up to
usually
them.
is, and people normally coming around that corner don't realize the
If
sidewalk's
it's a
there.
little out of whack, I request them to put some delineators in there, so, put like a thing with some reflectors on it, so people will see the
Okay, good.
sidewalk.
Yeah,
If
that's
it's a
great.
problem.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
it's a problem, we'll see what it looks like when they're done. No, obviously, because down there's a jog out, I don't want people running into the sidewalk.
Yeah,
So
and the
everybody
plow will hit it too,
Well, that's
yeah.
what I said, the plow will rip it up the
Yeah.
first snowstorm.
So everybody has to understand that this is a temporary fix, because the state's waiting for Verizon to move poles,
Yeah,
and then they have to fix the wall, and they would rather do it in the springtime.
right, they can't do it just during the
I know.
winter. They have to replace.
Because you know when we see it, you know what's gonna
Oh, I
happen,
know,
when everybody
yeah.
sees it, they're gonna say, what the heck is, we waited so long, and that's what they've done, the wall's still gonna fall, so we just have to make sure that we,
For the new wall, they have to dig down like 8 feet for the footing of it, and once they dig around the poles, there's nothing there, the poles are just falling. So-
Oh, I see,
So they gotta
okay.
drill new poles down real deep, so it won't affect them when they work.
okay? I'm happy.
Okay.
This is happening Wednesday,
He said Wednesday they're supposed to be doing it.
and if it doesn't happen by the end of this week, do we call?
I'll be right on.
Okay, is it worth calling Senator Tar and Lenny? Because I was talking to Senator Tar today, and he said, if you didn't feel comfortable, because I didn't talk to you, if you don't feel comfortable with it, give him a call and he'll see what he can do.
Yeah,
Just wait.
we'll see what happens. this
Wait
week.
till Monday?
Okay.
Okay. You all right?
That's good, yeah.
Okay. Second item, Glenn, you had asked maintenance of town building.
I was curious, is there any way we can set up, like, the painting of this building, the old town hall? Is there any way we can set up an account like we do with the roads every year? I thought about talking about this, to put it into your budgeting cycle coming up. You know how like we do with the roads, we have like, you know, you say you wanna keep up on the roads.
Right.
Is there a way we can have that, like, remember how we had one like up at Page School, that we had the rent money going into something?
No,
I mean?
I
But something, you know what I mean? Can we,
was gonna have somebody come in and do some painting this year, a little bit at a time, but it costs too much with procurement rules and whatnot, you can't really do that, it's too visible.
yeah, but I'm just talking about getting in, like, a line item for real repairs on the buildings every year, kind of figure out how much we're gonna need, so we can just stay on top of everything.
Right, well, we do have somewhat, but obviously a bigger project like this, my plan is to have an RF, the specifications of
RFP?
what to do outside and inside, and I was gonna do an article for Springtown meeting. To do
Oh.
the inside and outside, the whole building, the whole building needs to be painted.
I agree.
But it needs to be done right, so you have to have a, you know.
No, it's gonna cost a lot of money.
Specifications, yeah, right.
But I meant, can we have can we have money in a line item for repairs? Maybe we need more, so it doesn't get like this, you know what I mean? And start looking at some of the buildings, like the town hall, you know, the interior of that, and just stuff so we can just kinda, you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I know exactly, yeah,
Like the roads, it would be the example like the roads, so we stay on top of it.
but
He's
that's what the, you know, the capital plan will pretty much show that, and you can build it into your thing. You know, 'cause every year, we're not gonna have to need all that money, you know, I mean, once we
Well, I'm not
paint-
even talking about a lot of money, but just a little bit more than we presently have, so things don't go to, so we don't end up with capital projects.
Yeah, well, every time I've tried to increase that line item, you cut it back down in half, so.
Okay, so if you could come up, if we could come up with some real good reasoning for it this time, and a real good
Yeah.
number, I'll support it.
Yeah,
I think if we saw a plan,
Yeah. That, like
that
a
would make
road-
it, that would make a difference of not getting the money.
Yeah,
cut
like
in
a
half.
road, that's what I'm looking for, like,
Right.
like the roads. A good example would be the roads one.
well, we basically just did it for the paid school and the children's gas, and created
Yep.
that. We could do this, you know, similar thing for the rest of the buildings.
Okay, that would be good.
That's what I
I'd like,
said, you know, you need.
I would like to see something like that a little bit more aggressively, so then things don't turn into cap. Remember like the problems we had with the district?
Well, actually, we've been, you know, this year, I've, just done projects we've done this year is, just so you know that, you know, we haven't been, doing anything.
No, I don't, that's not,
Well, I know,
that
I'm just
wasn't my,
saying,
that's not my point.
well,
I don't
it is.
dispute, I don't dispute that you haven't been doing
No, in
anything.
the last year, we've done a new HVAC in the annex, a new roof on the Garden Street Fire Station, new trim on the Garden Street Fire Station, repaired a septic pipe problem there, a new roof on the gazebo, new trim and railings on the gazebo, new carpet tiles in the 1910 building, new trim on the old highway garage, a new door on the old highway garage, ventilation project at Page.
Yeah, but some of those are articles. Some of those are like
The only one's an article is the,
HVAC systems for the annex
yeah, but I'm
and
just.
the
I-
Page one. All the other ones I would agree on.
Then the Page, children's castle, we did work in the bathrooms, we did some lights and alarms, we put a new sidewalk up there, we got new tiles in the police station, multiple repairs on the HVAC system, public safety, library windows, work in the children's room at the library, painted inside the library, we're doing the window project. No, that's just some of the stuff, most of that's regular budget money we've been doing, so, you know, we can only do so much in one time, so.
Well, I understand that, but so that's the point, that if we need to do more, we need more money, and more money is what we need.
That's right.
And then, or even another person. If you say, Glenn, it doesn't really matter if you give us $500,000. There's no way we can do anything because I only have so many hands.
No, we kinda need both, actually, money and the person, because I've never gotten that
Person
full
back.
person back.
I agree.
We've increased our workload by a lot, so
That's my point on this discussion
we'll do that.
about planning for next year's budget. I would support more money and a person to make sure that I would do it.
That's the plan I have.
Okay.
That's what I've been thinking all along.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that was my thing. I just thought about it, you know what I mean? Because I want a lot of these things too, spruced up for the bicentennial. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna hopefully have a big
You know,
to-do and have a month-long thing and have a lot of things going on in different buildings.
You know, also planning on getting some new, signs when you come into towns, and much nicer signs than we have, that's one of my,
The state ones,
no, no, no,
or
no.
the other ones?
Like welcome to West Newbury, some, a little better that fits than just some blah that just says welcome to West Newbury. You see them in the other towns, they look pretty nice,
Okay.
and some granite posts, so I'd like to get that done before centennial time, too, so.
Okay.
Spruce that
Good.
stuff up.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Thanks, Gary, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
May I ask a question?
You have to, you have to use the microphone.
Have a-
Question is related to Route 113 and the sidewalks. I just wondered when I was over on Main Street, Merrimack the other day, I said, why did Merrimack, when they did Route 110, why did they get concrete sidewalks and we get asphalt? That was just my question. I don't know what the reason is.
It's a, I don't know, it's a
Did they
state,
pay for it?
yes, they did.
Merrimack? Or did the
Oh,
state pay for it?
I don't know.
Gary, do you know the answer?
Yeah.
What's the answer?
That's why I asked, because I knew you were here. So I can answer.
I have actually, you're not the first person who's asked that question.
What? I am.
You're not the first person who's asked that question.
Now we'll get an official answer.
The Merrimack, actually, the town of Merrimack owns everything they did over in Merrimack. That's not a state highway there. And they did a that was a state project where the town had to fund all the engineering. They used all their chapter 90 money for like 3 years to pay for that.
Wow,
The new
Just the
road.
engineering, and then the state did the project, so.
wow.
So it's not 110, it's not a state highway when it goes?
Not where,
Not where
state
the granite
highway
is.
ends at, down by the police station, and
Yeah.
it ends up the other end, way up on top of the hill by the
Library?
corner of the library.
By the library, oh.
That part in between's the town road.
Answers the question.
Thank you.
We fought for that with the state, but they weren't gonna flip the bill, and there's no way we could have afforded that all the way
Well, I
down.
just thought if the state was paying it, or
Where's-
Commonwealth better said.
Yeah.
West Newbury's project was basically in-house with just the regular state, repair money, and they basically just did in place, and
And they replaced what was there to begin with.
basically,
Yeah.
they didn't do a full-blown project.
Okay.
They just didn't have.
Thank you, Gary, appreciate it. Next item is Finance Department follow-ups. Mike, I know you have like a big list here, so if you want to just kind of go through it.
Sure. Sure. First on the list, and it's in no specific order, is we'd recommend that we seriously look at getting somebody in the harbor master position.
Mhm.
I've had a couple of residents come in and inquire about it, and there's also some concern that,
Inquire about being a harbor master or on the harbor committee?
no, just inquire about what is our plan.
Oh,
They want to know what our plan is because they feel that there's a need for the harbor master.
What's
And
their
that,
need?
what's that?
What's their need?
Well, first of all, for the pump outs,
They
and
want the
then
pump out boat.
general awareness of the boating regulations.
Patrolling and everything?
Yeah,
well, because the harbor master does not have any control over riverway, waterways enforcement. They're just a pump-out boat.
We can't use that boat for anything other than using pump outs. We can't use it for enforcement. So we would have to, if we're gonna get a harbor master who's going.
We'd have to get another boat.
We have to get another boat if we wanna regulate the waterways with a harbor master. Because we tried that way and we got a not very nice letter from the, person who has the grant money telling us to stop doing what we were doing, or they're gonna rescind the grant and take back their boat.
But what we're doing with the pump-out, I mean, that's a valid
Yep.
question.
She said the
Right.
only thing you can use it for, if there is an emergency such as a boat is on fire,
Somebody's drowning.
somebody's drowning, they can go off course from pumping. and
they're
go
not,
help them.
I can tell you, they're not consistent in what they tell one community to the next, but,
We got a letter from them
Right.
telling us exactly that.
But we
So-
do need a harbor master to operate the pump-out boat if we want to keep the pump-out boat, is the bottom line.
right, and you know,
And to
like I said,
regulate
Right.
the moorings.
a lot of people, you know, we had an all-time high of moorings this year, and it's
only
probably.
gonna go higher.
Exactly, so you want someone to help manage that process.
We do need one, because we're gonna have houseboat enforcement, so.
Okay.
Right. You know, as requested, I will prepare and.
Last day?
Friday.
It was
For-
official
for,
this Friday, right?
No, I'll be here on Mondays now.
Oh, I know
Today,
that.
I just got here about,
Past Friday was this last?
yeah. And I'll be here on Mondays, and this is the punch list that I'm gonna be,
Working on.
Should
Working
we,
on.
should we actually put out an ad to see if we could,
Harbor Master?
yeah,
No,
no?
not right now. Let's wait on that. There's a lot more strings here that we need to do. Let's have the harbor committee come in with us and start talking. Let
Fine.
them do what we've appointed them to do, and by springtime, let's get one in
Well,
place.
there's kind of a lead time if somebody is interested in that, if they don't actually have their
Yeah.
license or whatever it's called. They
Right.
They need the winter to do,
call-
that's when they do
To
that.
take the training.
Okay,
But why
well,
don't we just,
let's have that committee come in the next
we'll
meeting.
just, yeah, just delegate that whole task of identifying somebody to them.
Perfect. Let's have a
Okay.
committee, see if they wanna do it.
next up on the agenda, I'll prepare the budget lists and prepare a draft budget with recommendations. I'll probably start that a week from Monday after town meeting, once we have all the
Excellent.
votes recorded. We just,
Can I ask a question? on
Sure.
that? I don't have it in front of me, what we weren't talking about tonight, but if every single thing is passed at town meeting next Monday night, and it's the free cash ones, how much will that be? Around?
how much will we have left in free
No,
cash?
No,
He wanted to know if every article passed, how much is that?
yeah, how much is that? If every article passed,
It's
I don't
act-
have it in front of me.
It's actually in the FinCom booklet.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have that
It's on,
with me.
it's in the front, I don't have it either.
No, I have one, I don't wanna waste another one. I just want that, did we know?
I think it's, well,
It's not
Around? So we were certified with $1.8 million in free cash. and
1.9.
change.
1.9, right.
1.9. So we have 1.9 of free cash before fall town meeting.
Right.
And I was just curious how much is on.
Well, you're probably talking somewhere around $180,000.
So
'cause-
$200,000. So after town meeting, we're gonna have $1.7 million
Find out in a second.
of free cash going into the next budget cycle.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
And the water department has about 163,000.
I thought theirs was 268,000.
Said 260, yeah.
263.
Yeah, you said 100.
Oh, sorry, 263.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So with that, we'll
Remind me
make,
to talk to you about the water department. I'm sorry if that's not on here.
we'll make some general recommendations to some of the stabilization funds that we set up, just so they're on the tip of our tongue and we don't forget to keep funding. Most notably is the pension one. There's already a mechanism to funding the school one, but we'll wanna stay on board with the pension funding. And with the next one, the debt statement will also lay out, how much money next year is gonna
Coming
go,
off the books?
is gonna be coming off the books and then subsequently raised to put into the school stabilization fund.
All right. What's our, I saw an article in the paper that West Newbury's excess levy capacity was, it's like 300 and something,
No, it's just under 600,000,
just under 600.
yeah. Last year, it was about 579,000.
That's just under 600 as of when?
Last year,
As of the close of June, as of June 30th.
as, the tax rate as of, December 31st.
Got you.
And, this year, most likely we'll add to that. Well, we will definitely add to that.
Right. Good, excellent.
I'll make a few capital plan suggestions because, there is a motion to raise the limit to 20,000. So I just want to make people aware, you can't forget about those items that cost between 5 and 20,000. So you want to just be aware of that, whether it's a $15,000 lawnmower, or whatever,
So they
again,
don't get forgotten and not put
raising
on
the
the
cap,
list.
you wanna make sure that's just pointed out.
That's fine.
Yeah, they need to build the capital, or rebuild the capital plan too. I know the Finance Committee and Capital Improvements are meeting this evening. So,
Mhm.
I mean, there's one thing of what's the plan for the next 10 years, and the how to pay for it is, you know, that's kind of secondary. That's, you know, that's the other part of it. But I think without, you need the plan first before you can figure out how to pay for it.
Right. It's just now that you might want to separate the sources a little bit because, you know, I would say, you know, the town is in extremely
Yeah.
great shape as far as, even as the capital plan goes, because we've been, you know, using our cash to pay for capital, which is,
Generally,
a modern luxury nowadays, you know? So we're in great shape. It's just we have to decide what our fleets, what our buildings want to look like, et cetera.
Yep.
It looks like we should be on track for a tax rate in mid-November.
Good.
So that, that's kind of one of the bigger things I like to look at, because that means, the books are getting closed, the receipts are done, everybody's on the same page, and getting it done in November makes everybody look good. I'm gonna work on having all the bank accounts switched over to the acting treasurer. I have a statement here on the housing agreement. This is, my recommendation. I'm not sure, actually, if Gary's still here, you wanted to talk to him. But the way I look at it is we have two jobs. We have an office administration of paying the bills and recording the rents and maintaining the tenant list. And then we have somebody to pick up the phone and answer the calls. So even at paying a couple of stipends at $250, the town would still save $900 to $1,000 per month on that agreement. And that's something that we need to talk about more, so I can relay to the West Newbury Housing Authority our plans.
Gary, what are your office hours? When are your office hours? When do you have, I know your assistant is moved, like you split her from the water department, and then, what?
Stay for a couple hours in the afternoon, Monday to Thursday.
2:30
2:30 to 4:30, basically.
to 4:30, Monday through Thursday?
The next item up, I just want to, we completed the opt-out policy. The board had voted it back in June. I put a policy together with checks and balances, and that'll get, in a form, that'll get distributed out to the employees who are potentially eligible for that benefit.
Okay, and you'll send Chris a copy?
Yes, I'll send Chris's copy as well.
So we can put it with our, I'd like to keep a copy with our policies.
Okay. I think one of the most important things when somebody who handles money leaves is that I make sure I turn over as of November 31st, the reconciliation of cash. We're up until September now. I'll turn it over and make sure someone knows those duties that I handle right now. I think that's important, both as an audit perspective and as a control perspective. The next one, the modernization bill passed, and there's a couple of things that we may be able to do in the spring to address some of the things Mr. Kemper just talked about as far as a building maintenance fund. They're actually, what we used to do with the revolving fund is now legal. So you'll be able to use our surplus property and put that money in a separate revolving fund to use for maintenance and repairs of buildings. So I'll just point out some of those things. You can decide what you want to do, but I just...
Be pretty detailed when you point them out to us, so we know what to do.
Right. And, well, I just want you to know that if that's something that we do, we would correspondingly lower local receipts, because right now that money belongs to the general fund. So for some reason, we're going to take, because the rent is pretty substantial. So if we move that rent, we'll also have a decrease in our local receipts as well. So you might feel a little bit of resistance on the tax rate, because it may move a little bit, because it's, you know, close to, 0.75%, the amount of money we take in rent.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably $150,000 a year.
Children's Castle, the town, the,
Just the
Town-
Children's Castle and the Town Hall.
the town hall.
It's, so you just want to make sure, if we're going to go with the building fund, that we look at the revenue side and say, okay, now we have to lower the revenues, because we're not counting, so we don't count it twice.
Wow.
And the last one is out, that one piece of property I mentioned to you a while back. I have calls out to a couple of different people to handle the tax title work on that, and the tax title work doesn't cost the town anything. It gets added to the bill. It's a vacant piece of land.
Do you
that I've-
need seed money, though? Do you have seed money for that? Or
I already have,
do you have enough in your budget?
I
Do you
have
need it
enough
for
in my
us?
budget.
Because we have some legal
right,
in ours.
I have some in my budget to handle the initial.
Oh, it's all gone? Oh, we took it
Um,
out? Oh, do we? Okay. Yeah, which we could use it.
And the last and final thing is, I did, the gentleman that came in was Steve Boyd. He lives at, on Way to the River, and he would be interested in serving on the Harbor Management Committee.
Is that committee full, or are we looking for somebody?
It's not that big a committee.
It's only 3 people, I think.
Yeah, we'll ask him to come in, if the Harbor Committee comes in next meeting, I'll ask him to come too.
And that's like a punch list of things that I'll make sure I definitely handle over the next.
If you find out that you need that list to be updated, obviously just send that to us.
Yep,
Yeah, make it
sure.
kind of a working document.
Okay.
I'm sure things will come up.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for the update.
Okay.
Okay, next item on the agenda is one-day liquor license. These actually have your name on them. Should they have your name, or should they be PA, or just leave it like it is?
Just leave it like it is.
Leave it like it is, okay. I move to approve a one-day liquor license for October 22nd, Old Town Hall, and November 24th, Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Building, Glen Kemper. And it's for the
You said 22nd.
okay, I'm really wrong with my numbers today. October 27, November 24. And that's,
The 24th put me and Brian Young.
or PAA Sports, Brian, yeah,
Yeah, just put Brian. Well, it's on there now.
Glen Kemper,
And then just put /.
okay.
That's fine. It doesn't really matter.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain, okay.
Thank
Okay, next item, Mike,
Move to approve?
well, okay, we gotta get the number first. So, Mike, we said your hourly rate, since you're now hourly, so since not an employee, it's like, where does that get paid from?
There's a finance expense line item.
Are we gonna have to take money eventually from
I
salary?
don't see it being all that much, maybe, another 7 or 8 months,
Right, okay,
$8,000 a month,
okay.
No, it'll be,
Feel like you said okay.
no,
I knew it was,
maybe 4 or 5 Mondays or
Right.
something. I don't think it's gonna be
got you,
even material.
okay. So,
But if it becomes material, then we'll deal with it then.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
We
So-
can do a reverse
so-
on transfer or something.
yeah, right, so doing the math, do you agree with this number? 114,444 annually, divided by 52, divided by 40 equals 5,502, plus 10% is 6052?
I actually had a little bit lower,
What'd you-
because we divided
I'd
it
rather
by,
have your numbers. He's not good with
Oh,
numbers
you don't divide
tonight.
it by 52, that's
we
why.
divided it by 2088 this year.
Right,
For me, so it comes out to 5481, 60.29 for,
is that the plus 10% number?
yeah, 60.29.
Oh, okay,
Plus travel.
Yeah, no miles, but travel.
No miles, but he gets paid for travel.
Right,
an hourly rate.
right. So no miles plus travel. So move to approve $60.29, no miles plus travel for
Second.
Michael Bertino. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is Sue Yames. So I guess there's two ways to go here. We appointed her as interim treasurer collector effective today, so that she legally can sign documents. When someone fills in a role, higher capacity and position, differential is generally one step to the lowest pay grade of the position. We don't have a treasurer collector, so that doesn't exist.
You are the only one who has that piece of paper?
Yeah, you want to read it?
No, I just wanna make sure I'm not looking
It's
for.
my notes.
Okay.
That's one way we could go, which is basically taking her hourly rate up, or we could just give her like a $500 stipend.
Mike, what do you suggest? Just tell us.
It's whatever, you know, I had written it down, like I said, whatever it would come out to be, and, you know, I don't know how quickly you're gonna move on it, and, you know, if you paid it weekly, you know, maybe it's 6 or 8 or 10 weeks, and,
Right, and
and it'll be over.
Right, or depending on how the position is filled, it could be actually longer term.
Right, it could be, it could be longer.
So we do it the hourly one?
So we should do it the hourly one, okay.
I
so
think so. It'll be easier.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would appreciate that.
Okay, so just
So
tell
that,
us.
she currently makes $29.91, next step up would be $32.30.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This, next thing on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, this was a negotiated thing. I don't even know what this is. I don't have any backup on it. Can we do this in executive session?
Sure.
Since that was part of a contract and negotiated?
Yep.
Because I don't even know, I don't have anything here any backup, so I don't even wanna start to talk about it.
Okay. Next item is appointments. I just kind of put that on. I don't have anybody. You have any appointments?
No.
Okay. Warrant for the state elections. Move to approve the warrant for the state election.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move to approve the minutes of September 26th as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nothing, I couldn't understand, but whatever, doesn't matter. Got it.
Payroll invoice warrants. Are there questions?
Yeah.
How's some of them?
You know? Lot,
A lot of good places to eat?
yeah, I'm sure, I have, you know, I've only been there a day, so.
Okay, the first question is a thing from the grantee is the Pentucket Arts Foundation, and it's from the Cultural Council, but I'm just wondering if it's a 2016 fiscal year invoice, because it says March to July, so I don't know if I assume it's 2017, but it can't be sure. And just looking at it, I
It's,
don't know.
I believe it's grant money, though,
Okay,
so grant money doesn't have the same cutoff
Oh,
as
okay.
general fund money.
I don't know, I'm not on the board anymore. You get 1 year to use it.
okay. Same question as last time, invoice from Mello saying we're, the balance due is 33.7 instead of 16. Do they just never catch up, or?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it'll catch up probably in December, where their posting is more accurate,
Okay.
but it's always checked to make sure.
This was an invoice for the Mass Municipal Personnel Association, and I asked Chris about it, and we had never paid this before, so I looked up. It's for, Mass Municipal has a lot of different organizations. This one is for personnel officers, but we don't have one, so I don't know if we should belong or not. Chris?
It's a-
I had called and asked why they would want us to have that, and the person said, oh, you always did that, you always have sent that, and I didn't remember it before. I never saw
Probably like a
anything that
Comcast
said
bill. They just send out
personnel.
the bills and hopefully you don't catch them.
So in other words, we didn't pay last year's, and.
How much is it?
200.
200. So it's like one of those mass municipal organizations, but if no one.
We don't even use it.
If no one gets anything out of it, I don't see
Why,
why.
yeah. Do you know anything about it?
Mass
No,
Municipal Personnel.
I thought it was through your office, actually,
Oh.
but apparently it's not.
No.
Make a motion that we don't join that one.
Okay.
I agree,
Second.
okay?
Want to call the vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good catch, Archie.
Anything else, Archie? You're working overtime.
This one, is that your writing?
Not my writing.
Well, this is just not a question on the bill here, but more just as a philosophy. It says, community preservation administrative assistant. So it's like for 31 hours, so is that necessary?
Community
Yeah.
CPA person?
CPC, yeah.
You're
It
the-
just seems like a lot of hours.
You're the representative.
I understand that.
Okay, so I don't know. I think I would say, Joe, is that
Have,
a lot of hours?
have there been a lot of applications lately?
Yeah.
No,
Have you?
it seems like a lot to me. I don't know.
What, but is that over
can-
what?
I can,
2 weeks?
this is for, yes, for 2 weeks. I can talk to her. There's actually a meeting.
It's probably hours she had to
Yes.
catch up with her administrative work because she was away.
Yeah, she
So
was gone for a while.
if you divided it out amongst the weeks that she was away, it'd probably come out to
Okay,
a little
Not
bit more
much.
reasonable.
Yeah. Okay,
that's it.
That's it.
make a motion to accept the invoice warrants.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Move to approve the payroll warrant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Placing items on future agendas. Anything?
Well.
Are you gonna have anything ready for this interim, for us soon?
Excuse me?
The interim town manager, are you gonna have anything for us soon?
We're.
It's in progress.
It's in progress, yeah.
The applications are still open.
Have we decided on a good firm date to meet with the water department? Because I'd like,
Yes,
that's something on the future
Yeah.
agenda. Is it 7th or whatever?
yeah, we emailed it out.
Okay, I just don't check all my emails. Okay, because on that one, I was gonna ask to have something on a future agenda because the water department was meeting with Groveland tonight about trying to purchase water for them. And it was at 6 o'clock, so I went down and looked and.
Yeah, I mean, that was,
Seemed like a good meeting, so let's hope, so
Right.
hopefully we'll have some positive feedback from that meeting.
that was,
when they meet with us.
yeah, I mean, that was one of the many options that we had talked about,
Yep, I'm glad they're pursuing.
pursuing one of them at least.
What is the date that you're going to have on the water? Just so I can tell Mary.
I think it's November 7th, but let me just look.
There was a bunch of dates, and I just said they were all good for me.
I'd have to check, Chris, I don't know.
Okay.
I think it is. But any other placing items on future agendas?
Do you
Yep.
have a meeting before the town meeting?
Yes, I think we are posted 6:45, right?
Post a meeting at 6:45 before the town
Yes.
meeting, so if we have anything we need to do.
Yeah, I already are.
I'll let you know, but we might want to confer with the Finance Committee on the CPA, one of the CPA articles. or CPC or whatever it is. Set with that? Move to accept the correspondence.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I actually had one comment on one of the correspondence from the Verizon correspondence. So we got a letter, it says our franchise expires at the end of this month. Is that, you guys have a meeting set up with them, or?
Tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She canceled last week or the week before.
She did?
She canceled, and so we're meeting tomorrow at 4.
Perfect, thank you.
Can I ask Sylvan a question about correspondence?
Yes,
It's regarding the Pawtucket School District correspondence. Previously, the superintendent had indicated to the school committee that they might be asked about a potential 7 to 12 project, but that wasn't anything that the district was considering. And I see in the letter that he mentions it again here. Do you have any information that that has changed, or is it still
I think,
something that?
We have no more information than what's on that piece of paper that he sent us. But I think, I probably could say, is that, they're keeping every option open
Right.
with the state, so they can try to maximize as much funding as they possibly can.
That's definitely true, I heard that too, but one thing that the superintendent said was he didn't want people to misinterpret this and think that the district was considering 7 through 12.
No, but at this time, there are no proposals for such a configuration.
Thank you.
But I think it's just that they're willing to keep their, if the state comes back,
Then you have that discussion.
and I'm not speaking for anybody, if the state comes back and says, hey, your enrollment's only gonna be this, it would be better if we did a whole project for you guys, and we were gonna fund it this much. I think they'd be smart to listen,
Right,
and I think that's where it basically is. But there are no,
thank you.
to our best of our knowledge, there are no changes from the previous application or anything like that. Yeah, I don't have anything underneath that email.
I'll find it.
Okay. Make a motion to go into executive session for Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A2, to conduct a strategy session in preparation of negotiation and, with non-union personnel, or conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel.
Second, roll call.
Aye.
Anderson, aye. Kemper?
Aye.